Are you new to ham radio? Do you wonder how and when to identify? Here's the answer. Welcome to Ask Dave, episode 23. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG. I was on the air recently and had just finished a QSO, or QSO, meaning a contact with another station, and another ham jumped in wanting to work me. He was new to HF, and in his excitement called me in a highly unconventional way in which it sounded like he was calling CQ using my call sign. Although several other stations were calling me at the same time, I opted to talk with this newcomer. We had an excellent 20-minute conversation that ranged over many subjects. But it got me to thinking, how and when are hams supposed to identify? I'll limit this to voice, such as single sideband and FM, with a strong emphasis on HF practice, such as generals and extras might use. The answer is at the same time simple and a bit complex. This section from Part 97 of the FCC rules regarding the amateur radio service has these two items of relevant information. Each can be a bit fuzzy. Let's take a look at the first. In Section 97.119, and that funny symbol is used in the regulations to indicate a section, it says each amateur station must transmit its assigned call sign on its transmitting channel at the end of each communication, and at least every 10 minutes during a communication. The second item says that the use of a phonetic alphabet is encouraged, although it doesn't say which one. This chart shows kind of the standard interpretation of the FCC rule calling for identification every 10 minutes plus at the end. The blue line through the middle is time marching forward. The pink station, which I've marked with my own call sign, KE0OG, begins transmitting without an identification to another station. The blue station, to which I've given an old call sign of mine, KD6SH, engages in the conversation. Both are pretty long-winded. The second time around for the pink station, 10 minutes has elapsed since the beginning of the conversation. So that station must identify where the red arrow shows, which happens while the station is still talking. Similarly, the blue station is running its own 10-minute clock and must identify when 10 minutes have elapsed from the beginning of the conversation. The pink station wraps up the call and identifies at the end of its transmission, since this is the last time he or she transmits. The blue station says goodbye and also identifies. This is the bare minimum required identification and is not considered amateur best practice. The conversation goes on for 10 minutes without either station identifying. Further, neither station acknowledges the call sign of the other. Okay, so much for the legal requirement. Like so much in ham radio, the legal requirements are held to a minimum, and stations are expected to use best practices for identification. Let's look at some of these. In this case, I want to talk to anyone, so I'll call CQ. I have a little button on the voice recorder on my radio that has this exact message recorded. There are many ways of calling CQ, but this can certainly serve as an example. I start out by calling CQ, repeated several times, and then I say, here is Kilo Echo Zero Oscar Golf. Then I say my call sign without the phonetics, then say it again with phonetics. Notice I'm using the standard phonetics here, the same set you learned as you studied for your examination. Now, here I end with the statement, calling CQ and listening. This does two things. First, if anyone happens to tune in while I'm giving my call sign, they may not know that I'm calling CQ, so I put it at the end briefly. Also, by saying, and listening, I alert any listeners that I'm done transmitting. Okay, that's fine and good and certainly meets best practice. Now, there are some other ways to get stations. If you have just finished a QSO, you might end with the Q signal QRZ, usually pronounced QRZ, which means, "Who is calling me?" And that's fine. But the next example is not fine. Simply saying QRZ without giving your call sign is not fine. I mention this because some DX and some contest stations seem to assume you've been listening for a while and have already picked up their call sign. There have been times when a DX station has been repeatedly calling QRZ with no answer, and I've actually asked what his call sign is. He tells me we have our exchange and all is well. Definitely best practice would be, "This is KE0OG, QRZ?" or something like that. Now, let's look at how this might be done during a contest. Generally, a station looking for a contact will say CQ Contest, or perhaps the name of the contest, such as CQ California QSO Party. Either works. Listeners know what you're looking for. Now, here's something interesting. A stateside station calling CQDX. I hear this from time to time. What the station is saying is that he doesn't want to hear from other American hams, just those outside the country. Sometimes this will net results, but more often it's better to go tuning for the DX station pileups and see if you can get in there. Now, occasionally you will hear DX call CQDX or CQ North America or some such. They're indicating that they're actually soliciting your response. Go ahead and answer. For completeness, I've included how to ask for anyone to answer on a VHF FM simplex or repeater frequency. You announce your presence by saying KE0OG listening. This may or may not net you a QSO. Sometimes it's best simply to listen to others talking, and then when they're done, call one of the stations. Okay, let's suppose you've been tuning around and you hear someone calling CQ. I'll use one of my old call signs to show 3 ways to answer. The first is what the books would have you do, which is to give the call sign of the station you're calling, then say, "This is," or "from," and then your call sign. However, I've noticed that the second method, simply stating your call sign using standard phonetics, is quite common. You hear this a lot in DX pileups and in contests, and now it has become common in answering CQs. Note the ambiguity here. The station that is calling CQ is not completely certain that you're calling him, but it's done anyway. By the way, not using phonetics is only good if the signal you're hearing is exceptionally clear. Otherwise, use phonetics. When you hear someone calling you in response to your CQ, you can do one of several things. The first simply acknowledges the other station's call sign, then the full exchange of call signs comes at the end. You can do the same thing without phonetics except at the end. The last one is my least favorite in that it simply turns the QSO back to the other station with a simple go ahead. How about when you're in the middle of a QSO and you want to finish what you're saying and hand the conversation back over to the other station? Here are several ways. The first, which I don't consider best practice unless you have an exceptionally clear connection, is to simply stop talking, like you might in the middle of a conversation. If the other station's signal is noisy, it's often hard for me to determine if it's my turn to talk. The next 3 methods are somewhat better in that you indicate you've finished your thought. The first one, over, is not as common as the next one, back to you. I tend to use go ahead or back to you. Of course, an unambiguous way is to give your call sign, which is all you're required to do. Often I'll just throw in the phrase, "for ID." A somewhat better way, in my opinion, is to use the other station's call sign too. Again, it comes first, then comes yours. If the QSO has been going on a while, I might just give the other person's call sign and then mine with nothing in between. The last one spells out full phonetics, which may be a bit of overkill in the middle of a conversation, but there's nothing wrong with it. Let's talk for a moment about the other station's call sign. To most hams, their call sign is as personal as their name. When you use their call sign, you're acknowledging their name, which is a good practice to follow in a conversation. Everyone likes to hear the sound of their own name, and that goes for call signs too. Now, there are several ways of ending a conversation. You can simply sign with your call sign. I don't like this because it doesn't really acknowledge the other person. So I'll use their call sign and then mine. I might add some little bit to it, such as the Q signal QRT, meaning I'm shutting down, or asking QRZ, which invites other stations to call me. Let's look at this complete contest QSO, in this case for field day. The station calling CQ for the contest clearly indicates when he or she will listen. The other station simply says his call sign. Then the first station gives her contest exchange, meaning the information that the contest rules state must be exchanged, in this case, class of station and the ARRL section. The other station acknowledges this and gives his information. The first station then says QSL, meaning I received it, gives her call sign, and then QRZ, hoping for another contact. By the way, by convention, the station who called CQ is given the courtesy of calling CQ again on the same frequency. So if station A calls CQ and a QSO results, the frequency is handed back to station A, who may choose to call CQ again. If station B jumps in and grabs the frequency, this is widely considered bad behavior. While it is true that no ham owns any frequency, to steal ham A's frequency away is considered bullying. Don't do it. DX, or working stations not in your home country, is similar. Let's assume that Filipino station DX2DX has just finished a contact and asks QRZ. You insert your call sign. Lots of other stations will be saying their call sign at the same time. This is called a pileup. But let's assume DX2DX wants to come back to you. He will give your call sign followed by a signal report, which is almost always 5x9 by convention, and then state a location. You quickly respond with his signal report, almost always an automatic 5x9, give your state, and end the contact. The DX station then goes on to give his call sign and then ask for other stations to call. Note that this is very quick and efficient. Personally, I enjoy getting to know people on the air, and contesting and DXing usually don't allow that to happen. Just chatting with people is known as rag chewing or chewing the rag. So, here is some quick guidance. If you're going to use the other station's call sign, put it first and yours second. Say, KD6SH, this is KE0OG, but don't say, this is KE0OG calling KD6SH. If the band is at all noisy, putting the call signs backwards will confuse listeners. Putting the other call sign first and yours second is best practice. The FCC rules suggest phonetics, but don't specify which ones. The ARRL suggests the Standard International Civil Aviation Organization alphabet, which is the familiar Alpha Bravo Charlie set. However, you'll find that DX hams don't always use this. For my own call sign, I say Kilo Echo Zero Oscar Golf. I find lots of DX stations don't get that on noisy channels. However, King Edward Zero Ocean Germany seems to get through. Listen to the phonetics being used by the DX station. By the way, cute made-up phonetics like King Edward Zero Old Grouch will simply confuse people. When you're on nice VHF FM channels, you usually don't need any phonetics at all. The most important part of this is to communicate clearly and without confusion. I hope this brief summary has helped. If you liked this video, please share it with your friends. I urge you to subscribe to my channel so that you can get notification of future videos. I have a tip jar on my YouTube channel page and also on my website. The whole purpose of this series is to answer your questions about ham radio, especially those of interest to those new to the hobby. You can ask questions by commenting on any of my videos on YouTube, preferably on the one most directly related to your question, or you can pose a question directly at www.ke0og.net/ask-dave. Until we next meet, 73.